Okay, charcoal exploration. So we have a charcoal pencil. This is soft. It'll make a nice dark mark. Compressed charcoal, which is a large rectangular form. And then this little vine charcoal. So the very first thing we did was experiment with the tools. For example, what kind of mark can I make with the vine charcoal? How hard can I push before it breaks and disintegrates in my hand? It's actually very fragile. But then you can also use bits that break to cover a whole section. You know, wash and render we did with graphite, we could do that with charcoal. So experiment with a vine. Compressed charcoal now makes a much darker mark that can't really be erased as much as the vine. You see the eraser picking up the vine here. It will pick up the compressed charcoal, but it'll never get white. So we just did an experiment with each of these tools. Also experiment with using the compressed charcoal on its edge. What kind of marks can you get when you shade with the whole edge? So we did one page of exploration. The next thing we did, excuse me while I throw away this was we experimented with creating a form. So we just did sphere. For example, use my vine charcoal to block in. So the dark side is a light source here. You can move that around a bit with your finger or a tissue. Just like the wash and render, you can erase a highlight. Kind of move the charcoal around a bit. And then I would not add compressed charcoal or charcoal pencil. Oh, we didn't experiment with the charcoal pencil. Much more controlled line and mark. These are great pencils because you don't need a sharpener. You can just pull the string. This one, the string has been torn all the way down. Please don't do that with the studio pencils, okay? You don't want to just unwrap the whole thing to play with it. It's not a toy. You just, if you need to sharpen it, you just unwrap. Oh, gently unwrap one. Don't pull too hard. Okay, there we go. Okay, that's it. Now you can use that edge or this edge. So once you block in the value on a form with the vine charcoal, you can slowly build the core shadow, which is the darkest part of the shadow on the form. And think about the cast shadow. Where is the cast shadow? Something that gets a little tricky when you're first learning charcoal's controlling the lights and dark. So for example, if you start with this guy and push really hard on the shadow and then try to blend a highlight, that gets really dark really fast. You really don't want that much dark value on your forms when you're learning to shade anything really, faces, forms. We start with spheres, cubes, cones, cylinders, because every other object in life can be made up of these other forms when you study them closely. So light first, then dark, and it's really the same with all of the drawing tools that we're using. Okay, so the next thing we did on the 27th, this was last Thursday, was gesture drawing. So we stood up in the classroom. Yeah, everybody stood up at their table, and I'm going to demonstrate this in the next video.